Williamson synthesis. Williamson synthesis of ethers. Okay. Now, what is Williamson's method of synthesis of ethers? Is when alkyl halides reacts with alkoxides. When alkyl halides reacts with alkoxides, then from this you observe X and Na is eliminated. So I will get RO R dash plus NaX. This method is called Williamson synthesis, that is preparation of ethers by treating alkyl halides with sodium alkoxides is called as Williamson synthesis. Now in this method, for example, if I take one general example and I will write it, CH3Cl plus NaOCH3, okay, sodium methanoxide. So how I can write it? I will remove this Na and Cl and simply this OCH3 we are attaching, OCH3, okay, plus NaCl plus NaCl. Okay, so this method of preparation is Williamson preparation method. Okay, so you get dimethyl ether and NaCl. So what is happening in this reaction? If primary alkyl halides, okay, that is alkyl halide we are using. If primary alkyl halides we are using, then if primary alkyl halides are used in this reaction, then you get ethers. Then ether is formed. As product. Okay, like let us take one example here. Ethyl bromide. If I take ethyl bromide plus I am taking here some, okay, sodium tertiary butoxide if I am taking. Okay, what will happen here in this case? This bromine and Na is eliminated as usually. Then here you will get CH3, CH2, O, CH3, CH3 plus NaBr is obtained. This is the reaction that happens. Okay, if you take primary alkyl halide. The same thing if instead of using primary alkyl halide, we are using tertiary alkyl halide, let us assume. Okay, we are using tertiary alkyl halide now. If tertiary alkyl halides are used, okay, then alkenes are formed as major product. Now, see, this is tertiary butyl bromide. This one, if you take in the presence of sodium methoxide. What will happen in this? You will get in this reaction. You will get propene. You will get propene plus methanol plus NaBr plus NaBr. So you observe this. If we are using primary alkyl halides in this method, you are getting ethers as product. If you are using tertiary alkyl halides in this reaction, then you are getting alkenes as the major product. Then why this is happening? Because alkoxides can act as strong base. They can act as a strong base. So if alkoxide can act as strong base, then tertiary alkyl groups, if they are present, then tertiary alkyl halides, if you are taking then they result in tertiary carbocation formation. So tertiary carbocation is formed, and after that elimination reaction is favored. Okay, so if what is happening, if you are taking primary alkyl halides, nucleophilic substitution mechanism takes place, that is SN2 mechanism is taking place. Okay, if you are taking tertiary alkyl halides in the presence of strong base, then elimination is favored. Okay, that's why in Williamson synthesis, if you take a primary alkyl halides in the presence of strong base, they form ethers only. But if you take tertiary alkyl halides in the presence of strong base, they form alkenes as a major product. So you can, in this method, you can synthesize ethers containing secondary and tertiary alkyl groups also. But in the first method we have seen, we can synthesize only ethers containing primary alkyl groups. But here primary, tertiary, secondary also you can synthesize. Okay. So next we will see another example. Next, you can also synthesize phenyl ethers or aryl ethers by treating phenol. If you treat with sodium hydroxide, you know that sodium phenoxide is obtained. What is obtained? Sodium phenoxide. This sodium phenoxide, on treating with alkyl halides, what happens? Here nucleophilic attack of this takes place. It is the leaving group, it attacks with the Na+. So you get a ether, phenyl ethers plus NaX. Okay. This is aryl ethers preparation. Let us take one example. Phenol on reaction with. Okay, first let us write with NaOH. Produces sodium phenoxide. Sodium phenoxide on reaction with, let us assume, methyl bromide. Okay. Sodium phenoxide on reaction with methyl bromide produces methoxybenzene. Okay. It is also called as what? Anisole. Okay, anisole is produced. Plus NADR. Like this you can synthesize aryl ethers also. Okay, so next we will continue. So we have seen preparation methods of ethers. Let us see next physical properties. Physical properties. Ethers also have polar nature because this oxygen carries partial negative charge, so they are polar in nature. They have dipole moment, and this polarity is not sufficient to make strong interactions. Meaning is, as in the case of alcohols, the amount of hydrogen bonding, the amount of interactions what they have are greater than compared to ethers. That is, alcohols have more boiling point because the amount of ionic interactions or the hydrogen bondings are more relative to ethers, even though both are polar. Okay, so boiling point of alcohols is higher than that of ethers. And coming to the miscibility, alcohols and ethers have almost same miscible, or they are almost same soluble in water. But ethers have more solubility than compared to their respective alkanes. Means if you take any two comparable masses of ethers and alkanes, like you take dimethyl ether and you take propane. Okay, relative solubility of ethers is more than that of alkanes. Okay, next coming to the chemical properties. Ethers are sweet smelling compounds. Okay, in the physical properties they are sweet smelling. Next, coming to chemical properties. Basically ethers are less reactive compared to other functional groups. Okay, they are less reactive. Now why they are less reactive, that we are studying under the reactions okay, involving CO bond cleavage. Okay, CO bond cleavage. That is, here we will study reaction with HX. Reaction with HX, hydrogen halides. Now why ethers are less reactive? The main reason is, if you write here like this CH3, OCH3. Okay, you know that here hyperconjugation of hydrogens are involved. That means there is a chance of a double bonded character in this. So the oxygen carbon bond is somewhat stronger. Okay. Similarly, if you take any aryl ethers. Okay, you take aryl ethers. There also the double bonded character you will get. So that's why, due to this CO bond is stronger, the ethers are little bit less reactive relative to other functional groups. Okay. Now let us see reaction with HX. On reaction with hydrogen halides, so basically they are less reactive, they require excess condition, that is excess of HX or concentrated HX if you take. concentrated hydrogen halides you should take for the reaction. Okay, and in this condition is if symmetrical ethers we are taking and making the reaction with HX. Let us take a reaction with HI. Let us take HX in the sense HI, hydrogen iodide or hydrogen bromide or chloride you can take. Now what happens in this case? If I am taking CH3OCH3, symmetrical ether it is. First one molecule of HI will react with this. How HI will react? H plus will attack here. Okay. Then one will be the leaving group and I minus will attack on other carbocation. So that is first of all one alcohol and one methyl iodide is formed. Then in the next case we are taking excess HI. Okay, excess condition or concentrated. So even this alcohol molecule also can react with one more molecule of HI. Okay, and this OH is eliminated, I minus is attached. So you get a CH3I plus H2O plus H2O. This is what is happening in symmetrical ethers. In symmetrical ethers, first what will happen? One alcohol and one iodide is formed on reaction with HI. On further reaction, alcohols also converted to iodides. So in symmetrical ethers, completely two alkyl parts are converted into alkyl iodides. Next we will continue. Reaction of HX or HI with unsymmetrical ethers. With unsymmetrical ethers. Now what happens if the ether is unsymmetrical? Okay, then let us assume I have methyl ether or alkoxyalkane, methoxyethane if you are taking. Methoxyethane, if you are making reaction with HI, then you will get methyl iodide as the product, major product, and ethyl alcohol as another product. Okay, what is happening? If you are taking two alkyl groups, two different alkyl groups, what do you observe in this? Smaller alkyl group is converted to alkyl halide, bigger alkyl group is converted to alcohol. Why this is happening? Let us see with some mechanism. Okay, that is, in the mechanism, let us understand that first H plus attacks. Now this is CH3O, CH2, CH3. Okay, methoxyethane. So there is a pair of electrons. Okay, what happens now? H plus from the H plus is liberated. Lone pair attacks, okay, or lone pair is given to H plus. So what I will get here? Oxonium ion is obtained, right? You will get this type of molecule. Okay, CH3O, H, C2, CH2, CH3, right? Now what happens in the next case is, iodide ion is available. Now this iodide ion is acting as nucleophile. Now you think on which carbon iodide can attack easily. If you think about this carbon, there are two hydrogens and one methyl group. If you think about this carbon, there are 3 hydrogens. So if it is like SN2 mechanism, iodide would prefer to attack on this carbon, right? Because here there are 3 hydrogens, smaller groups. Here one methyl big group is there. So iodide will attack on this methyl group and this is eliminated or this is removed. SN2 mechanism. This oxonium ion behaves as leaving group and I minus behaves as incoming group. So I will write like this now. I minus is incoming group, so I am writing new bond with I minus. This is CH3 and this bond is breaking with oxygen. Okay, this bond is breaking with oxygen. So I will write CH2 CH3. Understood? So why you got methyl iodide as major product? Because smaller alkyl groups there is no steric factor. That's why iodide can attack on smaller alkyl group compared to bigger alkyl group. Understood? So this is like SN2 mechanism. This step is SN2 mechanism step. So that's why you are getting major product, major alkyl halide is methyl iodide and ethyl alcohol is formed. Ethyl alcohol is formed. Okay. So if 2 different alkyl groups you are taking, then you are getting smaller alkyl group converted into halide. If you take primary and secondary alkyl groups, okay, here in primary and secondary alkyl groups, then primary alkyl group is converted to alkyl halide. Okay, so that is reaction with HI. Next, we will see reaction. If tertiary alkyl group is present, if tertiary alkyl group is present, okay, in ether, then let us see what will happen. Like CH3, 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 O, CH3. Let us assume this alkyl halide. If tertiary alkyl halide is present, then on reaction with HI, always tertiary iodides are formed as major product. Why? Because as we have seen in the mechanism, I will write the mechanism here in one step. This oxygen attracts the H plus, you know, right? So that oxygen attracting H plus, then you get oxonium O plus ion. Okay, O plus ion, right? You get this ion. After this step, here one alkyl group is there, here tertiary alkyl group is there. What happens is, if there is a tertiary alkyl group, then the reaction will undergo SN1 mechanism. That is, this part is eliminated now and you get tertiary carbocation. So tertiary carbocation is more stable. So first tertiary carbocation is formed in this. So now it is following which mechanism? SN1 mechanism. Plus this methanol is obtained, methanol. Then on this I minus will attack. Then that's why you will get tertiary alkyl halides as the major product. That's why you get tertiary alkyl halides as a major product. Understood? So if tertiary alkyl groups are present in the ether, then tertiary alkyl halides majorly formed, okay, major product on reaction with the HI. Okay. Now let us see another example. If aryl ethers are there, then if aryl ethers are present, like for example, I am taking anisole, methoxybenzene. If methoxybenzene reacts with HI, what will happen is you will get phenol along with methyl iodide. That means if you compare the relative bond strengths here, this is sp2 carbon, sp2 carbon, this is sp3 carbon. Okay, sp2 carbon and this oxygen, this carbon have double bond character. You know that it is due to conjugation or resonance, double bond character. So this bond is difficult to break. That's why in this case alcohol is phenol and methyl is converted to methyl iodide. Understood? So in case of aryl ethers, what will happen? This oxygen and benzene bond, okay, is double bond character. It is stronger bond relative to this bond. So this bond is not cleaved. This bond is cleaved in this case. Understood? So this is reaction with the ethers. Next. Now let us study about electrophilic. Okay, electrophilic substitution reactions. Substitution reactions in aryl ethers. Okay. Now you observe, if you take the simple aryl ether, what is that aryl ether you can take is anisole only, let us take. Okay. So what is happening in this case? You know that oxygen carries lone pair. So oxygen is electron shifting here, this is shifting here. Ortho position gets negative charge. Ortho position gets what? Negative charge. Oxygen gets positive charge. Okay, next in another resonance structure, this will go like this, and para position gets electron rich. This is similar to what we have seen in phenol. Okay, phenol also we have seen this type of mechanism, resonance. This will shifting, it will shifting here. So these are the resonating forms. Mesomerism is happening like this, right? Next, this electron shifting here and it will go back to the oxygen. So what do you observe in this case? Ortho and para positions are getting electron rich, right or not? So that means aryl ethers, if you take alkoxy groups behave as electron releasing groups or ortho para directing groups. Now let us see some examples under this. First one, halogenation. Halogenation. Now let us take here bromination example. Bromination, halogenation, bromination. Okay. Now if anisole is made to react with bromine, okay, basically it is electron releasing group. So it makes the ring more electron rich, and this electron rich species is sufficient to polarize the bromine molecule. Okay, polarize the bromine molecule. No need of catalyst. Directly bromine you can take and the reaction will continue. This is taken in acidic medium, polar medium, acetic acid we are taking, solvent. So bromination in solvent acetic acid. Bromine directly get polarized with anisole. Why? Because it is electron rich in nature. So you will get two molecules, two isomers. What are the two isomers? You will get orthobromoanisole and what is another isomer? Parabromoanisole. Okay, orthobromoanisole and parabromoanisole is obtained. Similarly, if you do nitration, same nitration means you are making reaction with nitrating mixture. What is the nitrating mixture? Concentrated HNO3 and H2SO4, sulfuric acid. Then also the same ortho and para isomer. What is the ortho isomer you will get here? Orthonitroanisole. Orthonitroanisole is obtained along with the para-nitroanisole. along with para-nitroanisole, and you know that para-isomers are major products. Okay. Then we have another reactions, Friedel-Crafts reaction. Next reaction is Friedel-Crafts reactions. Friedel-Crafts reactions. Now Friedel-Crafts reactions, same here. What we are doing is anisole, okay, on reaction with alkyl halide with anhydrous AlCl3, you get ortho and para substituted products, that is, these are the two products which are obtained. Now what are the products obtained is, this is orthomethoxytoluene, paramethoxytoluene. Okay, so we are calling it toluene, orthomethoxy, paramethoxytoluene. Okay, similarly, when you do acetylation, Friedel-Crafts acetylation or acylation, we are taking here acetyl chloride with anhydrous AlCl3. Then the electrophile attacks at ortho and para position. So what is the product you will get? Ortho position you will get COCH3. Similarly, para position also you will get COCH3. So what are the products obtained? The products obtained are orthomethoxyacetophenone, paramethoxyacetophenone. Okay, so methoxy is substituent group, ketone is main group. So we are calling it acetophenone, orthomethoxy. Paramethoxy, this is para position, paramethoxy, acetophenone. Okay, so with this we have completed alcohols, phenols and ethers.